We have some shocking news out of Busch Gardens Tampa, and they just announced a removal of a coaster, and no one saw this coming. As of now, Busch Gardens Tampa is planning on removing the Scorpion, their classic Schwarzkopf looping coaster that has been thrilling riders since 1980. I'm going to share all my thoughts on this and why I'm so intrigued about the announcement and what it means for the park's future. And what type of ride could we be seeing built in this location? Could it be for the GIGA? Because that is still a big rumor going around the park, is the next coaster could be a GIGA coaster. And we already know there's a lot of construction going on in the Jungala area of the park, as far as walls going up and just a little bit of curiosity as far as something big could be in the works for Busch Gardens Tampa. And maybe, just maybe, Scorpion had to go bye-bye to make way for this new major attraction. Welcome to Theme Park Recommendations. My name is Brandon, and I'm really glad you're here. And most importantly, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure you're smiling and being positive today. Even though this is negative news out of Busch Gardens Tampa, because the park just announced the following. Time is ticking. Don't miss your last chance to take a ride on the iconic Scorpion roller coaster before its final run on the track on Labor Day, September 2nd. And then they have a coaster emoji. And then they say, and stay tuned, ... This closure paves the way for future thrills. Now here's why I'm intrigued by that. Paves the way for future thrills. That's always a good thing when parks say that. That means obviously whatever they're planning is going to be thrilling, and maybe more than one thrill since it's thrills, but who knows. But the coaster emoji right after the date, in my opinion, if they would have put that coaster emoji before the period, right after the date, or before the date, it's a little different scenario. But here's the big question, that why would they put it after the period? Again, that just means, for me, I feel like whatever the park has planned is for a new coaster. And even though, in my opinion, what would be best for the park in this area is a flat ride package from like Zamperla, giving the park 3 or 4 really solid flat rides for the families to enjoy, like a Zamperla Nubilez, a Windstar, maybe a Giant Disco, and even a Zamperla Discovery. So something like that would be better for the park, because Busch Gardens Tampa lacks in the flat ride department, especially in the family category. So if it was me, that's what I would do for this. However, again, with that coaster emoji, I feel like this is screaming a new coaster. And it's been since Iron Gwazi, since Busch Gardens Tampa has built their last major coaster. And we have to remember too, Iron Gwazi was built in 2020, even though it didn't open up until 2022. So it's been over 4 years, about to be 5, since Busch Gardens Tampa has built a brand new major coaster. And obviously Phoenix Rising, the brand new family B&M coaster, just opened up this year on the other side of the Pantopia themed area. So it's what really kind of has me puzzled, honestly, is in a matter of 2 years, Busch Gardens Tampa removed the Cheetah Chase Wild Mouse coaster, as you see right here, as well as Scorpion. Both coasters in this same area. So, which is good, because it's the center of the park, and it really does need some love, and a new marquee coaster in this area would be great. Now, it might not be the GIGA, it could be something else, which is understandable, and obviously that it could very well be. However, there is room for a GIGA here in 2 ways that I can see, just by looking over Google Maps. And technically there's 3 ways, and I'm going to share each way with you and give you the pros and cons. The easiest way the park could fit a GIGA coaster in this location is obviously the station, maintenance area, queue line, brake run, etc. will be located where the Scorpion coaster once was. Now, if the lift hill would go out towards Gwazi Park, and the rest of the ride's layout kind of intertwines with Iron Gwazi in this area, as you see right here, it is a possibility. And what I really like about this is that this would be the easiest and most cost-effective way to fit in a massive 300-foot tall coaster. Plus, here's another thing too, is most of the ride would be located in the center of the park, which would be helpful for all the neighbors around the park so they don't complain as much, because the main coaster would be located again in the center of the park opposed to running along the outskirts of it. So I really feel like this is a solid plan. The biggest negative is Gwazi Park is used a lot by the park. This is where they have all the concerts at, the special events a lot of times, as well as I believe for Hollow Scream they have a haunted house out here. So would Busch Gardens really want to sacrifice all of those for this Giga Coaster? Personally, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just, again, showing you the ways that Busch Gardens Tampa could fit in potentially a Giga Coaster into the Scorpion plot of land. And another thing too is the employee parking lot. As you see, the lift hill could go right over it, and that would be okay. That's pretty easy to do. And when you're riding a Giga, you really don't look down, you look out and around you, so that wouldn't be too big of a deal as far as the visuals go. But again, I feel like this could be a slight possibility for the Giga. Now the next one is another spot that I feel like could potentially work if they were able to squeeze this style of ride in. What if we would see the Giga Coaster lift hill tower over the Pantopia area of the park, as you see right here, and then the rest of the layout basically extends out beyond the train tracks into this area right here. This right, I mean, when I first drew this up, I'm like, yeah, there's no way this is going to happen. Then as I see it, it kind of makes a little more sense. Really no animal exhibits would be misplaced here, and they could fit a ride in easily in this location. But would they really want this giant Giga Coaster to be towering over Pantopia? Is there room for the lift hill? Who knows? I feel like it's a chance. I really am intrigued with the amount of land beyond the train tracks. As you see right here, there's backstage areas that the park could reconfigure, and that's not really that hard to do. So it is a possibility. Now this next one, I feel like has the best chance at happening, and I really like it too. And that would be the lift hill would go where Scorpion is. I'm sorry, the station would go where the Scorpion is. The lift hill would go over Stanley Falls, over the Jungala area of the park, and then the first drop and turnaround would be located right here. And then you would see the layout kind of hug along Congo River Rapids and Kumba, making way for potentially the largest Giga Coaster in the entire world. And then the return leg, we would see interact with the ride supports under the lift hill as the train makes it all the way back into the brake run. What I love about this is I feel like the layout would be really cool in this location, and they're already doing work, or at least construction walls up in Jungala. So whatever is happening with that, is it connected with the Scorpion project? Who knows? Again, this is a big deal right now. For them to remove a coaster is a big deal, because they just removed one not like 2 years ago. So for that to happen again is big. And now with the Jungala, could this Giga Coaster extend over Stanley Falls and built around the Jungala area? Now the only negative I have with this is that you have a few animal exhibits around this area. Would this giant Giga Coaster towering above the animal exhibits interfere with their behavior as well as their habitat? I would say so, but I'm not an expert at that. I would say that this is a slight chance of happening, but again, I feel like this layout would be legit cool. Maybe, just maybe, Busch Gardens decides to move some of these exhibits over to this area next to the Serengeti Flyer, really trying to separate most of the animals to one side of the park. There's so many different pieces to this. No one knows. That's the beauty of it. Again, I'm just trying to share with you my thoughts. I pulled the measurements on all of these, and the Giga Coaster could fit in to Busch Gardens Tampa with the layouts that I presented you here. So again, I am very shocked by Scorpion getting removed. I hate seeing it. It's a great coaster. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good medium-sized paced family coaster. But with them opening up Phoenix Rising, that's brand new, so it makes way for the park to potentially remove this coaster. But I do not see another family coaster coming in 2025 or 2026. I feel like it's time that Busch Gardens Tampa needs a major attraction to compete with Epic Universe that's opening up in about a year from now in 2025. So with all that being said, if you're curious to know how I rank the coasters at Busch Gardens Tampa, then check out this video below, because I guarantee you there's a few surprises on there that you're not going to want to miss. Now, what are your thoughts about Scorpion getting removed, and what do you see Busch Gardens doing in the future in this area? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.